if someone who was an atheist walked up and had the belief that abortion should be illegal, what do you think their most convincing reason would be?
I believe they probably just think it's morally wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't have to be a religious thing. It can be. A lot of times it is, but it doesn't have to.
I guess why would you guys be correct and they would be incorrect?
I mean, I don't think I can say that any of my opinions are, like, correct. I mean, from, like, if you consider, like, actually talking about this in my ethics class right now, like, deciding what is good and wrong, like, looking at, like, morally, I feel like I won't argue that I think I'm right. I mean, I don't know. It's my opinion. And I think that's all I can have.
Ella and Emma.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Who wants to have a seat?
Or you both could have a seat, potentially.
Yeah,
Got
that,
enough chairs.
Sophie, come on.
okay, that would be it.
Okay, group interview. Okay.
We could all force it down.
All four.
Yeah. Make this a little group chat.
Well,
I'll just be right here.
okay. Sure, why not? Are you on camera?
Probably.
Sure, why not?
Figure it out.
Okay. So I'm pretty new at this, so we'll see where this goes. Ella and Emma and Emma.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, and I wrote it down perfectly. Okay. So, and I'm Veronica again.
Yeah.
Pierce. So let's see. Is there something that what we're doing is we talk to people about things that hopefully something that's important to you, something that you think is true, and then why you think it's true and what gets you to your confidence in that it's true. So what would you like to talk about? What do you think is true?
I would love you to guide the conversation.
Oh, God.
We have different topics. Let's see. We just had one about abortion.
Yeah.
We had one about God, Catholicism,
We have one about
karma.
We've talked about global warming. We haven't talked about the LGBTQ issue. That might be
Or
interesting.
gender studies, or things like that. Is there something that is important to you that if it weren't true, your behavior would be different? Or
Or something you're passionate about.
I guess like abortion.
Sure, I would say I know I for sure stand for reproductive rights and universal health care and equal health care for women. I believe in that.
okay,
Yeah.
we'll do what? Let's see. Let's narrow it down.
Sure.
Do you want to just go with abortion should be legal?
You
Yeah.
could say that. I
Okay,
could agree with that.
That would
statement.
be an easy way to. Okay, abortion should be legal. And how confident are you on a scale of 0 to 100? 100 being full confidence, 0 being none. How confident do you think you each are on that being a true statement?
I wouldn't put myself at 100, but I do believe in it. Maybe like 87.
Okay. Beautiful number.
I would
How about
say
you?
Solid 90.
Okay. All right. Okay. And why would you not be at 100?
I think it's just I grew up in a very Catholic Christian household, so like growing up and I see everything around me, people like directly telling me this is wrong, abortion is wrong, you shouldn't believe in it. But I mean, coming out of my own beliefs, I think that it is healthcare, and I think it's a woman's choice. I believe in pro-choice. I'm not like pro-abortion by any means, but the choice should be there. So I don't put myself at the 100, maybe because of my path, and maybe I can say I agree with like the other side's like, oh no, baby is murder, but I mean, that's not true. I think it shouldn't be a form of birth control, which is, it's a very small percentage of women that would be like, yeah, I've had 20 abortions. Like, that's not really a problem, but maybe that's why I not put it at 100.
Okay. All right. For you, same question. Why are you at 90 and not at 100?
For the most part, I agree with pro-choice, and like a woman should be able to decide what they want to do with their body.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like if you're overusing that right, the right of having abortions, then I think it's not okay. I think if you have a valid reason, or like if if you were raped or it was a mistake or something, then you should definitely be able to undo that.
Okay.
But for as like pro-life, like if you're overusing that right, I think it's not okay.
So to me, it sounds like both you guys are saying that there's kind of limits to
Yeah.
right. So it's like
that, yeah.
if someone's like 8.5 months pregnant, then they probably shouldn't be getting an abortion at that point.
Yeah.
What would be your confidence of, like, let's say someone's 6 weeks pregnant? Would your confidence still be the same, or would it be higher, lower?
I think it would be okay to terminate that.
Okay. Would you be 100% confident?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe again, not 100. I feel like I'm not 100 on anything I believe in, because there's always thoughts of the other side. But I mean, it probably would be higher.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it sounds like there's an age, or what do you call that?
Just like
Pregnancy
how
age.
far along and
Yeah, how far along, like
past second trimester is
past the second trimester would be bad.
sure.
And why would that be bad past the second?
Because you talk about people are like, you're killing babies, but it's a fetus. But like past, you said like 8.5 months. That's at that point it is still not a human being. It's still just a fetus in the womb. But then the baby is getting closer to developed, which in my mind is more like inhumane to do.
Mm-hmm. So if it's closer to being a human, then it seems a little bit more not as.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say that.
Gotcha. Do you have anything different on that, or?
I agree with that.
Okay. It seems like you have something, yeah?
Sure, if you want me to.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. If is there anything that you guys could learn or discover that would reduce your confidence that this is true?
Not really. I'm pretty
Okay.
solid on my opinion.
And you?
I would say the same, except, I mean, like back to the fact that I'm not 100 on anything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always like open to the other side, but I feel like there's not like much you could tell me to change
Okay.
my mind about a woman having the right to healthcare in order to choose.
Interesting. The person I talked to just before this,
Mhm.
they kind of said something similar, but they were at 100% confidence
I see.
that, yeah. I'm wondering, so you sound like you're very open-minded, right? Are you willing to change your mind if somehow there was some sort of thing that you could learn?
If there
Without-
was something that like could really convince me, something from the other side, I don't think there is on this topic, but potentially I am willing to change my mind. I can say that I thought one thing and now I disagree.
And you're Ella, right?
Yes.
And you are
Emma.
Emma.
Yes.
What do you think, Emma?
I don't think there's much that
There's
you
not
could
much.
be told to make me change my mind.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
Pretty confident. Okay. Remind me, what was your main reason was kind of bodily autonomy?
Yeah, and like if a woman's overusing the right,
Okay.
like continuously, I think there should be like maybe a limit. But if it's for the right reasons.
And I think you had mentioned, like, early on, abortion should be okay.
Yeah.
And kind of later on, not so much, right?
Yeah, the farther it develops, it makes it more incorrect.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Was it because the cells become more of a developed human?
Yes. Yeah, I think the farther it develops, like, it's also about, like, when you find out. Like, if you find out at that 6-week point, then it's okay. But if you find out and you're okay with it, and then, due to different circumstances, like father leaving or something, then you terminate it, then I don't think that's the right reason to.
Okay.
So it sounds like you do have that there are reasons that would be bad reasons
Yeah.
that you would not be then in favor
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of at 90%. Like,
Okay.
when it comes to like rape or, something serious, I think you definitely should be able to terminate that. But if it's not for the right reasons, then.
So what would be a bad reason? I think excessive abortions was one, right?
Yeah.
Excessive. Yeah. What would be a reason that is not a good reason at all that you would not be in favor of them having an abortion?
I guess like I don't know. For everyone the first time I think it's fine, but if there's a person and they're, constantly not using protection, they keep getting pregnant, they keep getting abortions, I think there comes a time where we should learn, that we're overusing that right.
So maybe abortion should be legal the first time, the second time, but maybe the third time there should be a law? Or
Possibly. Yeah.
Would you agree with this?
I say realistically, that's not like set to happen, because I know there's people that say like, oh, I agree if it's like a young girl who got raped in this circumstance and this circumstance. I don't think you can set out the laws like in only exactly this circumstance and this. I think it has to be like a broad thing. So I'd say like in the terms of the law, I say you can't like be like 3 times is your limit. But I mean, I would agree that it's not like I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't maybe care for somebody that did, but I think you can't like stop it at that point. I wouldn't advocate for control in that matter. Yeah.
So maybe instead of saying legal, illegal, maybe we should say people shouldn't have a whole bunch of abortions.
Yeah.
And just from
like
a
ethically moral standpoint. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But you can't. I wouldn't be for like specifically controlling that in the name of the law.
So both of you guys kind of were okay with abortion early on in a pregnancy, and maybe the first abortion. And then as time goes on, probably less enthusiastic about that an abortion occurring. If we were to learn that like this small clump of cells or a small fetus, whatever terminology you want to use there. If we were to learn that that was actually more of a developed human being than we initially had thought, that it's actually more than just a collection of 2,000 cells or whatever, if it actually had a developed brain or something, you could think, would that affect your confidence level?
I would say to some extent it would affect my confidence, maybe not my full opinion, because that's only like part of my belief. I'm more for the just like the right to choose, right to your own body. But like learning about that, like I'm not educated at this. I'm not like quite sure at what point like the fetus can like feel or when it has like toes or whatever.
Right.
So affect my confidence, possibly. Affect my opinion, probably not.
I guess you said that's one part of the reason. What's the other part?
Well, I think it can be part of healthcare for a woman. Like, and then there's so many circumstances that a child is a lot of responsibility financially. If you're not ready in any of those aspects, the child's not going to have a good life. The mother isn't. So I think there's just like multiple aspects other than like kind of maybe the science side that it's just like a fetus.
I'll let you jump in if you got anything.
Yeah, well, it sounds like your main reason is the bodily autonomy of the mother is more. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like to me what you're saying is that the bodily autonomy of the mother is more important than the needs of the fetus or the group of cells or protecting that vulnerable whatever.
At that point, I think I agree with that statement. Yeah.
Okay. The people on the opposite side that would disagree and that would say no abortion ever, what do you think is the best argument? What do you think is their best argument as to why it shouldn't be okay for anyone?
I wouldn't call it best, but I know like growing up in Christians say that that a life is created at conception, that is considered a human being. So that is a point of view. And I mean, I don't agree with that really. I wouldn't call it the best. I guess I wouldn't know what like their best argument is, but I understand where that is coming from, that a
Mhm.
fetus has the potential to be a human being, even though at that point it's not. So
Oh, okay. So it sounds like what you're saying is that they may say that a fetus is a human being, and you're just not fully convinced of that. You're like, they can become, as a
to
potential.
some extent, yes.
Okay. So the reason that you don't quite accept or agree with their position is because, because you don't quite agree with the definition of, okay.
What do you think, Emma? What do you think somebody walks up who thinks the opposite? What do you think the most convincing thing they could say would be?
I also don't have an answer for the best thing that they could say. I'm not sure why they believe what they believe. I'm willing to listen to their side, but at the same time, they probably have grown up Catholic and been told those beliefs,
Right.
which made them kind of like believe that. But most people also probably haven't, like those people probably haven't experienced like being raped or anything, so that they haven't considered it or been giving it a chance to consider it.
Right. Yeah.
If someone who was an atheist walked up and had the belief that abortion should be legal, what do you think their most convincing reason would be?
I believe they probably just think it's morally wrong.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't have to be a religious thing. It can be. A lot of times it is, but it doesn't have to.
I guess why would you guys be correct and they would be incorrect?
I mean, I don't think I can say that any of my opinions are like correct. I mean, from like, if you consider like, actually talking about this in my ethics class right now, like deciding what is good and wrong, like looking at like morally, I feel like I won't argue that I think I'm right. I mean, I don't know. It's my opinion. And I think that's all I can have.
Do you think there's an objective truth to this question? I mean, do you think there is an objective answer, or do you think it's just opinions?
I don't know. See, I would like to say that I would lean towards my side. I think it's more correct. I think you have to be like open-minded to recognize like a woman's life, a woman's right to choose. So that'd be more correct.
Okay.
Can someone, or should someone who has an opinion on any topic, it could be abortion, it could be something completely different, should they not have anything that could convince them otherwise? Like, should there be something that they should be able to be convinced otherwise that could change their confidence?
I'm not quite sure I understood.
Yeah.
That was a massive question. Do you know what I was trying to ask? You don't either?
Like, is there a topic that someone can believe that should be able to be persuaded the other way?
Yeah, like, is there, like, let's say I believe that the Earth is flat, let's say. Should I be willing to accept certain evidences or things that I could learn that could persuade me that the Earth is actually a globe?
I think that goes with open-mindedness. I do think everyone should be open-minded, and like in an argument, you have to be willing to hear the other side to prove your own point. Like if you're not willing to hear the other side, how do you know that your point is correct?
So we should be evaluating kind of what they're saying and thinking critically about it.
Yeah, I mean, take everything with a grain of salt, but you should listen.
Yeah, maybe when we're hearing these other arguments or things that people are saying, we should think about why they may be true or why they may not be true.
Yeah, or why they think that.
Why they think that. See if they've used a reliable way to know that it's true.
I guess it depends on the topic.
Depends on the topic. Are there?
If somebody came up to me and told me that the Earth is flat, I would probably tell them to go back to school.
Oh,
So that one, I'm not willing to listen to their side.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
depending on the topic, I'm open-minded.
okay. Would you be open-minded on the topic we're talking about now?
Personally, no. I mean, I'll listen for fun, but
You'll listen, but reject everything they say, no matter what.
probably.
Hmm.
Depending on what evidence they have, I mean, I'm willing to listen, and it might take my 90% confidence down to an 80, but I don't think I'd go below 80.
Okay. So you'd never flip-flop
I don't think
sides?
I'd ever fully switch sides, no.
What about you, Ellen? Would you ever flop sides? Is that ever even a possibility?
On this topic, I would say probably not, but I'm not ruling out that everything is a possibility.
Cool.
In an extreme hypothetical, if I learned, because I agree, and I'm at like 95%.
Mhm.
But if I learned that fetuses, from the moment of conception, if somehow I could find out that they were like super like intelligent, and they could hear everything and they could feel everything, that might convince me not to do that. Like, but that's the only thing that I could think of, because I agree that I think that the bodily autonomy of the mother seems to be more valuable than a potential. So I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking when I'm trying to think of it, like an extreme hypothetical that might get me to change, you know. So okay, yeah, that's all I can think
Yeah,
of.
yeah, something like
How
that.
about you? Anything like along those lines? that
It would
you think?
only be some hypothetical
Sure,
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it seems like that you're more concerned with the rights not being infringed upon, and if you found out that the rights of the baby were just extraordinary, then you would go to like support those. I said that completely wrong, but I don't know,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking we do have to get to class.
Okay.
We
All
do
right.
have class
Thank
right
you
after
so
this.
much for stopping and talking to us.
That's fun. Never done
One
it.
of you guys had a card, right? Or did you put it back?
No, I don't.
I don't think so, no.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Maybe I'll see myself on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day.
It's awesome to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too. That was fun.
That was fun.
I like talking about abortion.
Yeah.
I don't know why
I kind of hope that I don't get to talk about abortion.
anymore.
No, I mean it's fine to talk about, but 2 times is enough for today.
I'm going to suggest
I was
abortion to the next people.
Like, pretend I like really believed in something crazy. What I say? I said that like the criminal justice system should be replaced and only people should get the death penalty. I was gonna like pretend I believed in something crazy and start like
Awesome.
that was good.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bird. It's like in the same shape of mine.
Oh my gosh, we're so twins. That's so cute. I love that.
Nice.